Welcome to Boysan's Place, and let's talk story. Hey, folks, I wanted to um, kind of like uh, talk about what we covered the last few weeks here on Boysan's Place. We're talking about the my experience with prostate cancer. I think I had five episodes of that, and we'll talk about that again too. But what was happening is I was sharing my story with some friends, and you get a feeling why we have the shades on here in a minute. But I was talking to some of my friends, and lo and behold, my friend Flor was sharing with me about soursop leaves. There she is, she's waving. And I heard so much about people who have had cancer that use soursop leaves as a tea. And I've been wanting to do that. So I got it in the mail today, and I want to say thanks to Flor. So thank you, Flor.
You're welcome.
But with that said, as we segue from just for a little bit here, we're going to change, our subjects from prostate cancer and going into interviewing Flor. And I'll introduce that the little bug on the bottom of the screen in a minute here too. So
Okay, may I say something before all
yeah,
this?
sure.
Okay, you were saying about the that sour sauce.
Oh yes,
Okay, I like everybody that is viewing, listening, or whatever to know we are not doctors, we are not nurses,
yes,
we're just speaking because
yeah,
of our own experience, okay? So
yes.
get that right. And,
Thank you.
just mention it to your doctors if the viewers wish to,
Yeah.
but this stuff really works. Again, we are not doctors or nurses
That's
or
true. We have to put the disclaimer out there. I agree. And I do other things like with lemon and honey and garlic
Mhm.
as well too. And some people are like, ew, but that's okay. So what I wanted to do was introduce this lady here, my sister from another mister. I haven't talked to her in a long time. She is the CEO of Lay Low Magazine, which features basically lowrider cars. And in a world where a lot of men, love their cars a lot, it's probably consumed by a lot of men. But you don't see women a lot, except for maybe like leaning on the cars or taking pictures with the cars. Um, but but Flora has this passion for years now for lowrider cars, and so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the other things that she and I have in common as well too, as we progress. And my buddy, my brother from another mother on the bottom of the screen there, Jesse Medina, who's joining us. Thank you so much. At the last minute, I invited him to join us. He has a connection with this whole business with lowriders. So welcome, bro.
Hola.
All right. So with that said, I wanted to have I'm gonna give the floor to Flor and
Perfect
have her
segue.
kind of share
But
with us how she wanted to introduce. I didn't know that was gonna be like that, right? How I want you to share with us, how you want to introduce yourself and what you've done, your background and things like that. So take it.
okay, I like to thank everybody that's tuning in. Just tap in and listen, and I thank everybody that's watching. And well, my name is Flor Lavato, and I'm the owner, producer, co-founder for Laylo Magazine, and it all consists of lowriders vehicles, and I've been loving lowriders since I was a little girl. I mean, I'm still little, I'm short.
Petite.
You guys, it's just a joke, okay? But no, but I am short. But no, since I was little, because my brother, well, I was raised and born in California, and he had a lowrider car. So, oh my gosh, he had it so nice, and man, that just started it right off. I was like, oh, I want to say about, I was like probably 8, 9 years old.
Wow.
Okay. So yeah, so then he kept on getting, he had 64 Chevy, 62, 63s. Then he got a bomb 59, a 1959. And I was growing up, growing up, growing up. And then I finally, like, woohoo, got my driver license. So I told my dad, I want a lowrider, Dad. He's like looking at me all weird, a lowrider? Well, you gotta make it into a lowrider. I'm sure there's nobody that's selling any, but he looked around for me because I was really spoiled. So he looked and didn't find any. So I finally bought a 64 Chevy. I'm sorry, a 63 Chevy Super Sport
Oh,
engine 327, all original. Oh
nice.
my gosh. And let me tell you, after that, oh, I started doing a candy apple paint job.
Nice.
And then I did all my inside diamond tuck. It was red. I looked like Miss Santa Claus, I guess, because everything was red. And I was the first lowrider female out there. And people would just look at me and like, what the heck, a female, And I don't know, I guess like Boysan says, it's this is a man's world, but it's not. It's not. So people were saying, why do you have a lowrider? Because I want one. Why do you have one? Well, I'm a guy, and I go, so I'm a girl. So it went on like that for a while until people, they just got used to seeing me, and it was good. And then like a year later, two more girls in lowrider cars, and while the story goes on and on and on. And my passion was way back then, I was probably 22.
Mhm.
Yeah, 20, I want to say 22 years old when I said way back then, oh my gosh, I want to do a lowrider magazine. So I would go to every car show, I mean, they had a lot of picnics here and there. We would park down the boulevard, and I was bang, 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 just taking pictures left and right. And I already knew who they were, so, and what it was, so I would write it down. And so I started accumulating all these pictures. So then I got in touch with a printer.
Yeah.
So they said, yeah, we'll print you out how many magazines. Back then there was magazines. So I told him, I don't know, let's start with 1,000, I guess. But I was typing everything. I mean, it was type, 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 typing everything, their names, the name of the club. I had pictures. I was putting them in order, A, B, C, D, one, two, three, four, and I was also getting like, what do you call them? Oh my gosh, I got a brain fart. I was getting my advertisements. There you go. Come on, Flor, wake up.
Good, good, good.
It's time to wake up. Where's the lowrider music? Okay.
Yeah, right.
Well, I had a question based on what you were talking about.
Uh-huh.
So where was this taking place? Because in the history of lowriders, it's predominantly kind of identified with the the southwestern area. So was it in Texas? Was this in, San Diego?
No, I was born and raised in Laguna Niguel, California.
Hmm. Okay.
Just north of San Diego. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, because I mean, when people are listening to this, they're like, well, what are you talking about? I'm trying to, I mean, I'm not an expert on a lot of things. I lived through that too, you know, um, and even now I still see it, there's a lot of, big shows in the big cities around, where people are, you go in San Jose, go up to Vegas, of course, Reno, obviously down south, there's a lot of different shows and stuff. So you were inspired to create a magazine. Was this during the time of the other lowrider magazine, the one that I mean, I'm familiar with that. So was this
Right.
done before that time, or what else?
Yeah, a little bit before that time until they started putting their stuff together. But when I got my stuff together, it's a long sobbing story, but it didn't happen because let's just say, well, it did happen that way, but to avoid, the long story, everything I had and it was prepared to go to the printer. Mine would have been first before Lowrider magazine, but everything got burnt.
Oh,
Like literally burnt, physically burnt?
Yeah, everything got burned. So my dreams went like from up here to down there. So I was like, this was a lot of work, and I mean, I had to give the people because I was charging, of course, to have advertisements in the magazine itself. So I had to
give the
pay
money
back.
back. Oh my Lord.
I had to pay them back because it didn't happen because of the burning of everything that I had ready to go to the printer already.
God bless.
And so now I'm like, when I started my Facebook way back when, it went, I mean, everybody followed me because it was MySpace. For MySpace, I have a lot of friends that are my Facebook friends. They followed me. And then I said, I'm gonna start this. I want to, I have to, and I did. I go to a lot of events and I take videos, I take photographs of the events, and then I post them on my little magazine. And I have models. I had a model event, and I mean, it was popping. I mean, the whole place was popping. I and the streets were just full of lowriders, and it was just the bomb. It was feed me all the way. It turned out so perfect. It was like wow. And I still have a lot of those models, but I have some other ones. I have other models as well, and that includes like family members, females, family members.
Yeah.
And so here I am, just doing what I love to do. That's so me, So, and a lot of people say, so well, do you do it free? No, I don't do it free. They want me to go out there and cover an event for them.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's in Alaska, Texas, Illinois, wherever. They pay for my air flight round trip. They pay for my hotel. Of course, it's just weekends.
Mhm.
So I stay there for weekends and they pay for my food and I get a VIP pass. And then I give them a USB with about 100 pictures in there
Mm.
and videos,
Yeah.
So are those,
in
are
return.
those Flora, is that something that you're doing, you're videotaping, you're doing the photography, or you have a team with you?
Oh, no, no, me, myself, and I. I do have a paparazzi that I started, but they do not wear the, oops,
The
sorry.
colores, the
This is
colors.
the Laylo magazine. Well, one
That's
of
her.
them, because they come in different colors.
Mm.
I'm a real colorful person, so, well, as you could tell, my background, my kitchen,
I love it.
my dining room,
Yeah.
it's bright, you need shades. I think that's why we're wearing them.
In honor of the brightness of your car, of how it's shining.
Oh, yeah, this was, there's a story behind this one. And well, I don't, I don't have them here and I hate to get up and, I have business cards and different colors, shirts. Boysan will show you when he gets his. I'm sending him a couple of them. He
Cool.
deserves it since a long time ago.
I was gonna say for me, growing up in the '60s and '70s, and by the time I got to high school, it was already the late '70s, and my dad got me a 1974 Maverick. I was, into the muscle cars at the time, right? And that was in Hawaii, where a lot of us, most of my friends were getting into the bugs, when bugs were popular back then, and they do those bug outs and candy apple red cars. And I was with my car was called the Orange Crush. It was
Ooh,
literally a bright orange car. It looks like the color of the Orange Crush, drink. And
yeah.
I was afraid when my dad pulled up in front of the house. It says, "Get out here! You're gonna learn how to drive this three on a tree stick, car." And so I learned how to drive, standard, shift, with him. That year was during my senior year, I think it was. But I was afraid that people were gonna diss me because it was orange, bright orange. No, it was a magnet. I mean, it drew the girls. I, got a lot of dates. Girls wanted to ride in them.
Oh,
Use
brother.
it.
It was cool. They used to race the car at Hawaii Raceway Park, but then my dad knew that if they left the engine in, I'd probably, tear up the roads and get in trouble. So they took it out and put stock engine in, but they kept the magnet
Oh,
and it was lifted in the back, and it was looking good. Right?
okay. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
it was
Okay.
cool. But I also used to look at the lowrider cars. There's probably a small group in Hawaii back at the time. But when I moved to California, oh my God, the Bay Area, and all the way down here to San Diego, there's a group here too in National City that has these, lowrider nights on Saturdays. And a DJ here, Javier, the X-Man, he's from where Jesse's from. He knows Jesse. He was instrumental in getting them to start up, the rides again on Saturday nights in National City when they stopped it because they had this negative sort of, view. I guess there's some folks that, did gang banging and things like that. And, it was too loud. The decibels were too loud. So they said, no, you can't do that anymore. But they just reinstated it last year. So everybody's happy. And
Yeah, they
it's
had it
good to have
done.
them back. They're beautiful
You
cars.
couldn't cruise for a very long time, and it was and it was and I believe it was just a way of just controlling people that were different. This was a
Yeah,
different. It was a culture that people didn't want to associate with. The connotation with it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, but just last year, yeah, that opened up. So, um,
That
what
that
are your
was kind of in the
what?
news too at the time, about what
Yeah.
you just said
Uh,
too. So yeah.
well,
Right. But
Flora, what are your thoughts about that, Flora?
okay, my thoughts about that, it shouldn't happen because the ones that make everything close down from cruising are the little youngsters that do not know any better. And I don't care what anybody thinks, but it's the youngsters, the hood, they just want to bang, bang, bang,
Yeah. Yeah.
and those are the ones that put the bad name to the ones that are really trying to enjoy themselves and take their ramflas down the boulevard and show everybody, hey, check
Yeah.
out ramflas are their cars, okay?
Yeah.
And that's all they want to do. But they're adults, they know better. The majority of them, they
Yeah.
should,
Yeah.
but that's what closes everything down because of the youngsters. They
Yeah.
want to just start fighting or just
That is that more of the past, or I have family members that are part of clubs up here, and these are guys that are maybe early 30s, maybe late 20s, or they got families. They invest well into their cars. Is that something that you're seeing more today? Because I know
that's what
when I grew up, yeah, I remember the stigma of being, well, they're, obviously they're troublemakers and stuff. So,
yes.
so do you see that as a change now that now that some generations have gone by?
No, you still see them, but the OGs, meaning the older guys that are in the lowrider scene, they try to stop it, but then sometimes they don't even want to get in it because these kids carry guns and knives. Who wants to be shot? Who wants to, get
Yeah.
stuck, really, and I don't feel anybody's a babysitter.
I think it's
And
cool
then,
because I've seen some of the guys in some of the parades here in San Diego, and they just have this pride. They take this pride on every detail, from the pinstriping to the paint, no scratches, to the hydraulics that they have. It's not so much like a competition as it was way back then, and with the younger ones and all that testosterone that was floating around back then. I think they've learned a great lesson, in trying to keep the whole lowrider culture in a positive light now. And so I think the old school guys were schooling the young ones by saying, don't F this up for us. Because, if you do, then you're done too down the road. So they've really, I think Javier, the DJ from 96.5, 92.5, the old school radio station here, he does a good job at supporting them. He's gone to speak to the city council of National City and gotten them, the approval to ride on Saturday nights as well too.
good. That's really good because they need. I'm not saying their dads aren't in the picture. Maybe a lot of them aren't, but they need a father figure or someone to teach them and lead them into the right direction. Not, yeah, stick yourself, put your head out of the window and do all your signs, your gang signs. Come on, people are not out there to do that. They're there to show their ramflas out and have a good time. That's it.
Well,
Hey,
They
so for
don't
some
want.
of you guys who are joining the show right now, we're talking to Flor Lavato, and she's in Phoenix right now. She has her magazine, Lay Low magazine. I have my buddy Jesse Medina, my right hand man for 40 something years, I think now. And we're talking about lowriders and the culture. We're wearing these sunglasses. Actually, when Flor got on, on our interview tonight, I was like, wait, let me go get my sunglasses. Jesse had his on already, so it's pretty cool. I wanted
well,
to ask for women, like the drivers, women who have lowrider cars. Is there a good number of them? Like, is there a ratio that from what you see, women to men having lowrider cars?
Oh, there's a lot of females that fix their cars. They put their money into their vehicle so it could look feed me bad.
Mm.
They're really really nice. So I know there's a lot of you that follow me on Laylo magazine. Go on there and look at my videos. I have a lot of females on there, and wow, their cars are just, they're beautiful.
That's cool.
They are beautiful. They put money into it. They sure do. And they cruise the boulevard too. Why not? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And but they have really, really female cars. And I give all you females props because you're out there doing what you like to do. Why not?
Yeah.
Show your vehicle off there. And then a lot of them, they have them in car shows too, and they win. And it's like, right
That's
on,
awesome.
lady.
I was
I,
going to
I
talk about the music that kind of goes along in general with lowrider cars, but I was going to ask Jesse if you have another question before I segue.
Oh no, I was just kind of keying on what Flor was saying about. I mean, this is a very special hobby,
Yeah.
uh, but it's also not cheap.
No, it's a labor of love.
I mean, you have to. I mean, my niece's husband, he's got. I forgot what he had, but it's just like, like, dang, how much this cost? Oh,
Oh
$45,000,
yeah.
fixed up car, and he puts it away in an area that's not it's not at his house. He's renting out some space
Yeah.
to have it put away.
I mean, if
So
it's the same like how we had muscle cars in Hawaii, guys would work 2 to 3 jobs just to, satisfy their labor of love of their car, their love of their car and making it all cherry, right? I'm
well,
sure the guys do
the way I look at it too is just that, see, it's not just fixing up to move it.
that. Hmm.
It's kind of a social statement
Hmm.
that, because if you look at some of the artwork, now we're talking about like, wow, like, look at look what was created out of this.
Yeah.
And yeah,
exactly. It's so beautiful, but they do put in a lot of money
Well, and some of the
and
hydraulics, right, too, takes a lot like the batteries. Because I installed solar at this family's house, and I was asking the wife why their electric bill was so high, and she said because of my husband's passion for his lowrider cars. I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Oh yeah, there's batteries in that garage that support the hydraulics of the car, and that's why our
yeah.
electric bill is high. So we need the solar panels." I learned something that day.
hmm, interesting.
Wow, yeah, that's true. Yeah, sometimes they have like 10, 15, 20 batteries in there. The more batteries, honey, the better it hops.
That's awesome.
Well, bounce to the ounce.
Yeah. So let's
There
talk
you
about
go.
the music. Since Jesse said that more bounce to the ounce. So, Flor,
There
I know
you
you have some
go.
inside connections with some of the folks in the music industry and some folks that from back when I was in high school, and they kind of go hand in hand with lowrider cars too. They just kind of go with the whole scene, the whole culture, right? So tell us a little bit about your experience with music, the music industry, and the lowrider business.
Me?
Hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not me. Not me.
Talking to you, and I was like, okay, I'll listen.
Well, look at you. We'll look at you now. How's that? Okay.
Yeah, so people in the music business, that, I mean, when you go to these lowrider events, they're playing some of their music, the old school stuff, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like not too long ago, Bretton Wood, he passed away. Good friend of mine. Oh my God, he loved the raza, meaning the Hispanic raza, because they were the ones that made him, that encouraged him to sing.
Hmm.
And I remember the last time I saw him, like 2 weeks before he passed away, he tells me, Flor, don't forget, I'll catch you on the rebound. Because on my page, on my Lalo magazine, I have him on there, because my page just consists of different little things. Yes, it's mainly low riders, but I also do concerts, with
Right.
these famous artists. And so he says, catch you on the rebound. I go, what are you talking about? And then he does that, and he was he would love to laugh, and he hugs me. It's okay, catch you on the rebound, and I go, okay, homie. He always laugh. He says, I love you, Flor. I go, I love you too. I go, but why you tell me that? He says, just catch you on the rebound. And I go, okay.
That was his
Saw my
favorite line.
page. Huh?
That was his favorite line. Catch you on
Um,
the rebound.
I think he was telling me something because he wasn't feeling too good.
Oh, really? Oh,
He
wow.
wasn't feeling too good. And when he told me, I just got a real
Mm,
horrible feeling about it. I'm like, oh my gosh,
mm.
what? I hope he's okay, And
Yeah.
yeah, you hear his music in there, and then I have my friends Tierra
Tierra,
together, baby.
right? Yes.
Yes,
I remember
you
slow dancing to that in high school.
oh, I bet. And probably other stuff.
More of the other stuff.
Right. The
There you go.
backseat of the 70, Maverick.
You're so lucky you didn't conceive to that together, baby.
Right. I would have been
No,
a young dad.
right? But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they're my friends, and Malo Suavecito, he's my
Malo.
friend too.
Yes.
Oh
La
yeah.
la la la. Right?
Yes, there
He
you
was so
go.
smooth. He was suave.
I know. And then these are, it's like fam bam. I say fam bam because
Mhm,
we, excuse me, we wine and
mhm,
we dine together. I do their events,
mhm.
most of them,
Yeah.
and it's the miracles. You
The
can't go wrong.
Miracles.
Miracles,
They're the guys
yeah.
that backed up Smokey Robinson, right? Back in the day.
Actually, yes. Actually, Smokey Robinson, he he told the lead singer, that is a lead singer now with the Miracles, that he chose them. Smokey chose them,
Yeah.
to be the Miracles, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And man, if you go back and look at the videos, everybody was just shocked. He sings good. You can't tell the difference between Smokey and him.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
is such a great singer.
Yeah.
And Claudia from Motown
Mm.
was in Miracles too, but she's out of it. So they
Wow.
have they had to pick other guys because the other ones are just getting a little bit too old and they didn't want to do it. So
Well, you get to
that,
go backstage with those guys too, from what I understand.
yes, I have VIP passes and everything. I mean they are down to earth. When I
That's
tell
awesome.
you people, they're down to earth. The Miracles,
Yeah.
they're down to earth, and you should go buy some tickets when they're out in your area because
Nice.
you will be amazed. They're
Yeah.
so sweet, and you will party with them and
Yeah.
everything. So I know them really good and their wives. So yeah, they like me. Thank God.
A couple
You
of
know,
things I know we have in common just from speaking with you. Too. We'll start with the first one is the Screen Actors Guild. You've been a member for a long time too, right?
oh yeah, I've been there since 92. I started my agent. She's Bobby Ball
Okay.
out in California. She's still my agent.
Wow. What are some of the
And
things that you've done?
some commercials way back when,
Commercials are fun. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, they are fun, very fun. And
yeah,
I love modeling. I would
yeah,
go down and just start the runway, just
yeah.
start walking in different clothes that's not yours. And
Nice.
ah, ah.
Nice. And then the other thing
You
we have
know,
in common is banking, right?
I'm sorry.
Banking,
Oh,
banking.
bank.
Yeah, the banks.
Oh, where I work at.
Yeah, we have like our daytime jobs, right?
I know. Yes,
They
yes,
sustain
yes.
us, right?
I'm
Between
I'm
gigs.
an escalation manager for one of the banks out
Mhm.
here,
Yeah,
and it was so weird because Boysan is two, and then his lovely, beautiful
yeah.
wife.
My wife was
She's
on the lending side. She used to audit the home loan. She started out processing loans, being a loan processor at the bottom of the pay grade there. And she worked her way up to auditing, loans. So anytime family or friends needed to get pre-qualified, they would call her because she knew what it took to get a loan approved. And so that's her forte. I was on the other side, the retail side where people come in and do their banking, and I hated it, hated it, hated it. I had
oh
to
my
deal
God.
I had to deal with the, when we got like held up, and but I'd never been in the branch when we got held up. I would look at the team and I would say, you guys are gonna get held up soon. And they're like, no, we're not. Next day they get held up. Every time. Every time.
Oh my goodness. And meanwhile, it's the escalation manager, like when people calls in, no, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to your manager. They're all mad because this representative
Yeah,
cannot help them. Okay, hold on. And we try to keep them calm. And then they send
right.
them to somebody else. No, no, no. I know there's somebody higher than you. I want to talk to them
Yeah.
It might have been higher.
right here. And I calm them down and I mean I have to look into their account, of course,
Yeah.
and they go happy as
Jesse
a lark.
Jesse worked for a bank when we were in college for
Oh
a little
God.
while.
Oh
Yeah.
really?
He
Well, you
did
guys,
too.
you guys are brave in your own right, but I just said, you
Yeah.
know what, I'm just going to get into, and for my long term, it was just getting into teaching and stuff.
Yeah.
Which brings up, and actually, what's kind of funky here too is like in this conversation, I think they have, I think up north or maybe in San Jose area or maybe the colleges, they're offering classes on lowriders.
Yeah, you were saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What?
there was
Yeah.
a course that was being taught up in the Bay Area about take a class about the lowrider history and culture.
I think that's
So I
awesome.
don't know if that's been something that you've been connected to, but maybe this might be a time to see about that because I
Yeah.
mean when I saw it, there was an actual news story about it.
You can teach
That's
adjunct. You can teach
that
adjunct at the community college.
to me that's absurd. I mean, there's nothing to learn. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. Okay, well, I'm going to go to school and sit down here for 8 hours and learn about low riding.
Well, I think it was more of a social kind of uh, a class on studying the culture of the
Yeah.
class, and here's a specific area of learning. I mean, I don't think it was about like here's how you put things together or hydraulic. It was more about understanding the. I think that's what was being emphasized. And then I'm not sure if this is correct, but from what I watched, but I think they were like, people are gonna take a field trip and be in a
Oh,
low car.
But yeah, I think it's a good thing, right? Because it helps the whole low rider community, where people can understand. People who might not understand, they take the class, they go, "Oh, now I get it. Now I understand.
Well,
Now I can respect
yeah.
it."
Well, if
Because
you
some
don't
people don't.
understand
Some
that,
people have their block on it. They just think that all low riders are gangbangers or all low riders, whatever it is that conjures up. So I think it's a great thing to have where you dispel all those myths, right?
well, I
wow.
think cool. I mean, I just think it's great. I thought it was a great idea to, like, again, it's just educating. How are we gonna learn to live together if we don't want to learn about each other?
Yeah.
And
It,
I think
it,
it's a significant part of the community. I mean, it's not just Latino. I mean, the Black culture too is
right.
also embedded in this.
Right. I mean, it's fine and dandy if they don't have to go to class. Just send boys some money, and I'll teach them. Since way back then in 1929, I will start from there. Just send him some money.
I'll sing when they have like their little break. I'll break out the karaoke machine.
There you go. It's gonna be a lot. It might have to go into 2, 3 segments, but that's okay. They will learn. They want to learn. Okay, I'll teach them. I mean, but I understand what you guys are talking about, and it makes common sense. Some people like, why? It didn't started like that, but man, I have seen several videos with that,
Yeah.
and they're explaining it all wrong. I'm like, well, where did they get that from?
Yeah.
Well, you don't know unless you're there. You don't know unless you're a part of it, and observing it from the outside is one thing. As you live it, apparently for what you're talking about, you've lived this.
Yes.
As an owner, as an entrepreneur, as a person that, I mean, and also, and again, I'm not saying this, that, trying to marginalize anybody, but even as a woman, how you have transcended the stereotype. And it's like, why shouldn't we learn about these success stories? Because
Exactly.
just because I don't know it is not good enough.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to bring you on the show, because we can easily go out and get another guy, have like a guy show, right? But when I met you 4 or 5 years ago, Flor, I said, wow, there's a woman who's putting together a magazine that supports lowrider, the whole culture, with photos and everything like that. And I was like, how is this woman, like doing this and not getting any flack? I'm sure you had flack as well too from folks out there. There's haters in any business, right? So I was always proud of you just for what you're doing. And I just really am thankful that you came on the show and shared your
Thank
experience with us.
you. It was, I was like, I was happy that you asked me because I was asking you. I want to do an interview with you with your wonderful books. Oh my God, they're amazing. Boysan is just so amazing. People, you need to purchase his books, and he will autograph it for you. On top of that, but you need to read. Once you start reading, you will not be able to put that book down. You want to go
Yeah.
to the next one and the next. And I believe he has like
Yeah.
8 of them.
Yeah. 7 going on 8. Yeah.
Going on 8. See, I'm
Never
not.
thought I would do it, but like it's just I tell you, like I'm glad as a kid, my parents used to read to me and it sparked an interest in me. It was like my escape, like you, Jesse, right? And I can go sit in a library, pick up a book, and just sit there for hours on end and not know the time and not care and just read through a whole book. Like I just can't put it down. I want a book. I always want to pick a book that I can just keep reading, and go into this whole different world of whatever the author's writing about. It's just the beauty of books.
Well, Flor, your story needs to be published now.
Yeah.
Now that we've heard your story, I would love to see that history shared.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll come up with something and we'll help you write a book.
Next step, huh, brother?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And we have other things. It's behind the scenes right now. They're stuck right there, but yeah, we're doing little by little, and I can't be more than appreciated that Boysan here says, "Let's do this," and I'm like, "Let's do this." you know, um, Gosh, don't give me the mic or stay on here because I could be here till midnight. I'm a talker. I love to talk. I have lots to say.
Let's last few words and then we'll wrap up. Jesse, you want to say something else?
Well, I'm glad you invited me. Like I said, I think we all got stories, and I know a lot of Steve's stories because we've over the last 40 plus years we've interacted.
We may as well be blood brothers.
Well, we're brothers,
Yeah.
I told him with my other brother Jose, brothers from another.
Yeah.
But the stories are important, and I think Flor, you got some stories that we need to hear. I'm not kidding, man. I'm already like, geez, meeting all these people that have influenced history, and I think you are too, as a person that's influenced history. The story.
Yeah, you never
So,
know. There's a young lady out there saying, "I want to be like Flor."
well, just be, be like, but be yourself, who you are. But but I think that there's a lot to say. I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't had the pleasure of reading your magazine yet, but I'm going to.
Yeah, go take a look. It's Laylo Magazine, and just
It's
follow
on
me
it's on
and
Facebook.
you
Yeah.
get everything. I mean, you can see everything. And again, I want to thank every viewer that is watching us and
Flor,
kiss us
before I
to
close
all
out,
of you.
you have any upcoming functions that you'd like to plug?
Any upcoming functions? Well, I have it. Oh my gosh. I have so many of them, but I don't like what they're offering me because they want everything free. But I'm not
All
going to
right.
walk that big old,
Yeah.
that big old stadium for nothing and waste my time and waste my
Yeah.
my film and all that,
Right.
for my that's time. It's time consuming, and then
Oh
you
yeah.
gotta go back and you gotta edit it and make sure they're not like, you gotta cut that off, and I mean, people, it takes a lot.
Yeah.
Don't think this is easy. It's not. And what Boysan is
Yeah.
doing here, I'm sure there's gonna be some edited parts, because maybe my mouth was
You were fine.
and
You were fine. The only thing I'm gonna add is the beginning when we started when I was talking.
but it takes a lot of people. But if I could do it, you could do it. And
Yeah.
I give you prompts, and I say whatever you have, if you need advice or whatever, hey, go to my magazine. I have a message button there. Message me. I'm not selfish. I'll help you out. It's not easy, but I'll help you
Well, hey,
out.
folks, go check out Flor's Laylo magazine on Facebook. Look at all her beautiful photos and videos, and then support her as well too. And thank you for joining us, everybody, here on Boysan's Place, where we talk story I don't know, whenever I feel like doing a show right now. And looking forward to the next show. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
Thank you, Flor.
Hello.